You're not alone. If you need someone to talk to today, please contact Crisis Services Canada by either calling them at 1-833-456-4566 all hours of the day, or you can text them at 45645 at 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember, you're not alone, and Crisis Services Canada is here to help. Good morning and welcome into this edition of Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. I'm your host, Graeme Forsyth. Today's episode is brought to you by Pure Anada and Fabricland Winkler. Only one guest will be joining me on today's edition of the show. Echo Kirk, Pilot Mound Hockey Academy female U18 prep defenseman, was unable to join me on today's episode. She was supposed to be the guest on our University Commit segment today, but due to some technical difficulties, she was unable to make it on today's episode. But don't worry, I'll be having Echo on next Tuesday's edition of Coffee with Graeme. Now, let's get into who the guest is in today's episode. It's a returning guest from last week's edition of the show. So from last Tuesday, it's Tony Bertone, head coach of the Assiniboine Community College Cougars women's hockey team, joining me for his second straight appearance on Inside the University. Tony joins me today to talk more about the 2018-19 national championship season that this Cougars team had, the 2019-2020 season as well. We also dive into the 2020-2021 season that this team had this year, with only 5 practices before it got shut down due to COVID-19. And we also dive into the expectations for the program heading into next year, going into the 2021-2022 season. All of that coming up on this edition of Coffee with Graeme on Inside the University with Tony Bertone, head coach of the Assiniboine Community College Cougars women's hockey team, here on ASTV Productions. Joining me for the second straight week on Inside the University, a segment here on Coffee with Graeme, where we take a look into just universities here in Canada and women's college hockey programs and highlight what these schools are doing. It's head coach of the Assiniboine Community College women's hockey team, the Cougars, Tony Bertone. Tony, thank you so much for taking the time once again with me this week. How are you doing?
Good, really good. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to have a chat with you again. And I just love the exposure that the college is getting, from you and your program. And I really appreciate it. It all helps, it really does.
Yeah, for sure. And that's always one of the best parts of doing just interviews like this, is just getting exposure on the great game of women's hockey here in Canada, because what you guys have been able to do, I feel like you guys have set the standard in terms of just Division II hockey, at least at that college level. Last time you joined me, Tony, we talked about the 2018-19 national championship season, dove into briefly touched on the 2019-2020 season where you guys went undefeated. Let's go back to that 2018-19 season once again and just talk about that, the approach coming into that year, just how you guys scouted going into that year to building this championship squad.
Well, it's like I say, I was assistant coach there for the 17-18 season, and then I came in as head coach 18-19. So the players, had already been pretty well selected, coming into that year. And I had added a couple. I added Simone Turner-Cummer and Jazz Denby. Here's a little story, Graeme. Jazz Denby, she came to us. We have open tryouts at the college every year.
Yeah.
That decide to come to the college, and then want you know if they're hockey players or soccer players or whatever, we tryouts. And so we held this tryout there, and here comes I remember my first skate out there with the girls, and we're running drills, and then I see this little Jazz Denby. I'm looking at my list, Jazz Denby. Where's she from? So all of a sudden, I skated over to my assistant coach there, and I says, "We got something there." And he says, "Oh boy, do we ever!" And what a great player. She came in. She was taking construction building course, and that was a 1-year program, and she was just a spark plug for the program. With her and Simone Turner Comer, she ended up being MVP of the tournament down in Dallas, and she, like I said to Simone, I said, you put us on your back and you just carried us. She was a real key part of us winning down there. She just rose her game to unbelievable level, and so did all the other girls too. But and here, so that's why we have these open tryouts, because here comes, like I say, Jazz Denby, just came to the college for taking construction course, and she says, "Well, I'll come out and try and make the hockey club." We always leave spots open. The same as going into this year. I left a spot, 1 or 2 spots open for any girls that decide to come to the college late and want to try out for the hockey team. We always hold those 2 open skates, and then they have the opportunity of showing us what they got.
Yeah, and that's amazing that 2 players that you guys got from those open tryouts, one of them was a huge spark plug for you guys, as you said, and one of them ended up, putting you guys on her back, and just in that tournament and nationals. Just going back into that national, that road to nationals, to the national championship back in 2018-19. You spoke about that game against Thunder Bay a bit, and just said it was a tough game, and you guys ended up overcoming them and making it all into the finals to play Minot. Just take us into that game against Thunder Bay, and just how motivated this team was to go in there and beat Thunder Bay to make it to the national championship.
Yeah, in league play, it was one goal with them all the time. When they came to our tournament, we went down to Bay to play them in their tournament down there, and like I say, it's unbelievable. It's 1-0 after two periods for Thunder Bay, down in Frisco, and I remember going into the dressing room, and I said to the girls, I guarantee you, you go and tie this game up, and we will win. We'll win. And Simone, she talks about that to this day. She said it just just lifted her with encouragement, for a coach to say that, in a dressing room. And I believed it. I don't try and BS. I tell the truth and what's in my heart and in gut. And and I told them, I says, you go tie this game, and we will win this game. Sure enough, they went and they tied her up 1-1, and then we ended up beating them. And it just ended up like all the regular season games. 1-goal game. Hard fought right to the end, and it could have went either way. And thankfully it went the Cougar way. And then we went on to meet Minot final.
Yeah, and of course, we already know the stories. This team goes and beats Anada in the final to claim a national championship, and just for this team to, for this program to come back in 2019, 2020, and do it again. You said that you guys were kind of filling a team with some new girls on the team, with a new group of girls. Could you speak about just the type of roster you guys had in 2019, 2020 en route to being able to go undefeated in those 31 games you guys played in total?
Yeah, we brought players in like Sadie Wood. I'm just going to read off my list here. Sadie Wood, Megan Kuznell, Emily Grossman was with us, and and then we brought in Sadie McIntosh as a goalie, and then here we have open tryouts, and here comes Alicia Oswald, who played at SIG,
Yeah,
for 3 years. Ended up coming to the college, taking a course, land and water management, and then I got three goalies. I got Marley. I had Marley for the 2018-2019 season. That's all I had, Marley. And I usually dressed my goalie coach for practice, and he would
yeah,
come in, and Jeff Moore would has the goaltender. We'd have two goalies in practice, and he did that all year, and it was good. It really helped us. And then this, like I say, 2019, 2020, we got three goalies, and they're all caliber #1 goalies, So I had a chat with them, and I couldn't bring myself to cut one of them. So I said, we'll usually, play 30 games, and we'll give you 10, 10, and we'll hopefully qualify for nationals back in Dallas and defend our championship. And that's the way it was. They worked out 10, 10, and 10. And then, as all know, our tickets were bought, and we were going to fly out and go down to Dallas on March 22nd, and everything canceled on the 17th. We had bags packed, and we were really looking forward to, putting on a great show down there, with the group that we had, with just strong players, and it was, disappointing that they can finish writing their chapter.
yeah, for sure disappointing. And you guys had a chance to go out and defend the national championship, and it seems like you guys were en route to having a pretty good chance of doing that with just the new group of girls you guys brought in, and the team in general, with just how strong this team was all around, with the goaltending, the defense, and the offense. Would you say that it was probably just bringing all those three things together? You guys had the high-powered offense, you had the great defense, and the great goaltending. Those were the three parts of what made this team so strong, and how you guys just brought it all together was just all three of those aspects.
Totally hit it right on the head there. You know what? We were strong in all three departments: goal, defense, forwards. And the group, you know, they clicked right off the start, and they were, all on the same page, and wanting to go and defend a title. And like I say, and I always tell them, write your chapter. Write your chapter. Let's not look back on the past, forward, and write your chapter. And as long as I'm at ACC, that's what I want to do with every team, as set some, and let's see if we can, work towards them, and accomplish them, because that's what it's all about. You gotta push the girls. You gotta set some goals for them, and that's what we do at the college. It's always positive. The coaches are always positive, and we want the girls to be positive. And like I say, we were strong in net, unbelievable. All three #1 goalies, to be blessed that way, it was just unbelievable. And the defense, and then the forwards, just power forwards, well, and set up plays, and they understood our systems. They picked it up right away, and they worked into it. And yeah, it was. I'll tell you all of them. Pretty to watch, girls. And yeah, they really came together, Graham. Yeah, really did.
Yeah, that's amazing. And like I said, it seems like you guys were primed to defend the national championship and become national champions again. And I would ask you a question about just the systems you have, but I'm sure you don't want to give away any of the maybe the competition watching. You don't want to give it away, but we're gonna save that for just for the people to watch and find out for themselves when they watch this Cougars team. We're going to go to our first commercial break here in this edition of Coffee with Graeme. I've been joined by Tony Bertone, head coach of the Assiniboine Community College Cougars women's hockey team. I'll be right back with him in just a moment. But first, we're going to head to our first commercial break here on this edition of Coffee with Graeme. Welcome back to Inside the University on Coffee with Graeme. Of course, Tony Bertone, head coach of Assiniboine Community College, is joining me, head coach of the Cougars women's hockey team at ACC. And I've just been talking to him about just the way this team was scouted and built for just the 2018-19 season, as well as the 2019-2020 season. And I mean, for you guys this year, you guys didn't get to write that next chapter due to COVID-19. Just like you told me last episode, you guys only had a chance to have 5 practices this year. Just in terms of, I guess, what could have been for this team this season in terms of the group of girls you guys had with those 5 practices from what you've seen. Just what were you liking from the program this year in terms of just if you guys were able to have a season this year with the group that you had?
Well, here's the thing, Graham. We got girls that were a 1 or 2 year diploma certificate at Assiniboine Community College, and we've got girls that stay for 3 years. Jazz Denby, like I say, I talked about her. She took carpentry, and then she came and took a business for 2 years. So was her last year, her third and final year, and then Megan Kuznell, she was, she signed up for another course and to come back and play. She was good this year, but she wanted to come back. Marley Kuznell, she was a 3-year student, Simone Turner, 3 years, and Simone's coming back for a fourth. So these girls, they come to the program, and it says about our program and about the college. They stick around, they want to come back, and because they see the success we have, and how we run the program. Like I say, philosophies, team respect and hard work, and and we bring that every day, and we ask the girls to bring that, and they see it, and they, like you say, they come back, and they they come back for 3 years. Like say it's and we had an unbelievable team, with Sadie Wood and Megan and Emily Grossman and all those girls, Haley Anderson and Mariah McHugh, big time players for us, but they had on, and we had we had our nucleus of vets, that were going to show the way to the likes of Aiden Roberts, Madison Bartow, Callista Green, Alicia Simpson, Cora Figella, all great hockey players, and they were coming into the program, and they were going to be led by our vets, and we were going to have a solid team again, and we were looking forward to going to Boston for nationals. But like I say, we had 5 practices, and then
Yeah.
that was it. The girls, I felt sorry for them. They got to write a chapter. How we built for 21-22 season, eh? So
Yeah, for sure. And it's awesome you guys are gonna have Simone Turner back, which is gonna be great. She's definitely gonna be relied pretty heavily upon, I'm assuming. And it seems like you guys got a great group of girls coming back already with just the players you named, like just players that have played in like the MFHL, and you guys have been able to scout and get players from the MFHL this season, adding more to the team like Megan Bezweatherick, Geneva Penner, Laney Muir, Savannah Doak from the CSSHL Pilot Mound Hockey Academy, their female U18 prep team, Mackenzie Dixon from the MFHL, as well as Lacey Gaffrey. Just you spoke to me last time about just how you got a great scouting team across Manitoba. Just speak about how nice it's been to rely on a league like the MFHL to bring in talent like you guys have throughout the years.
well, it's just awesome. We have a great relationship with the under 18 teams. In Yellowhead and Westman and Pembina Valley and Eastman is a big surplus. We got a lot of girls from the Eastman select and Central Plains. Giving us players. It's just it's great. We got like I said, we got Mark Alderson down in Morden and Ryan Herkowski. Sorry about that. In Winnipeg, he's our head scout, and then Dave Clark in Neepawa and Bob London Oakville. We and myself, I'm out a lot when I can, but this year we were all watching game tapes and then sending emails out and talking about different girls. And like I say, we put it all together, and we got 11 girls coming uh, this this fall, and we have 6 returning. So we got 17. So I left 1 or 2 spots available for our open tryouts, and and like I say, with the girls that you mentioned, it's going to be and with this group, we've got Simone Turner is the only vet. The other 5 that we had this year, they only had 5 practices, so
Yeah.
they really didn't see much of our systems and so we're gonna have 16 rookies. Simone, she knows them out, and it's going to be nice teaching them all our systems, because like I say, the other 5 we only had 5 practices, so they really didn't see much of our offensive, defensive zones, neutral zone play, and see any of it. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun filled because they're all going to be learning the systems, and the only one that knows anything about our systems is Simone. So
Yeah.
it's going to be. Yeah, I'm looking forward to teaching this group. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be exciting, and that's nuts. Even though you guys do got, like you said, 6 returning players this year, Simone being the only vet, it's going to be interesting for sure to see how this group is going to adapt and adjust to that college game and learn the system. So, just going into that with you guys being such a young team on paper in terms of not really having any college experience with like 16 rookies, basically, like you said, only getting for the newcomers this year who are returning to next year, just
Yep.
getting 5 practices. You always talk about just write your chapter, right? What do you think this chapter, the expectations will be for this Cougars team heading into this 2021-2022 season?
Well, we're going to have that conversation, in our first player meeting in September, just once they get back in at the college, and we'll be having that meeting, and we'll be talking, going over the team rules and all that, and then we discussing, our goals for the season and what chapter, we want to write. And to St. Louis. That's where the Nationals are going to be next year, St. Louis, and I definitely want to be there. And there's in our conference, in the West Conference, we'll have 3 spots. So it's we're going to have to work. To earn one of those spots to go to nationals. So, but I'm looking forward to teaching these girls, and they're keen. Like, these girls are all keen. They want to come to our program. They all reached out. I've reached out to them, or they've reached out to me, and that's what we want. We want girls that want to be part of our program and get a degree at our college. And then you play 1-2 years, and then some out of this group might stay for a third year, and we look forward to that. We always uh, we're always there with the open arms, to, if they want to stay, by all means, we'll have you. And education is not a bad thing. Like I say, education, whatever course you take, is always going to pay off down the road. So yeah, I look forward to working with this group in September.
So different this year in terms of scouting, with just how it was done, just really not much to really look at in terms of game tape, but in terms of just how the scouting process worked this year compared to other years, just talk about the difficulties of just going into scouting and going in depth on a player and just looking into her profile and just finding out if this girl is the right girl to bring into this program this season with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, we have a spreadsheet, and we have about, we're like right when they're in their first year of midget, so we put them, the girls that interests our scouts, or our that we want to pursue. We put into our spreadsheet from we get different names from all the scouts, and then we enter them into a spreadsheet, and then we just watch them as a 15, 16, and 17-year-old in the league. And then Brian, he does a lot of the reaching out with our letters, and introduction letters, and we send out, oh, probably, I don't know, in the numbers of maybe 30, 40 letters, to get some, see if we get any interest from the girls, because there's a lot of colleges reaching out to these
Yeah,
girls from
yeah,
from Canada and the US, a lot of US.
yeah.
So they're getting lots of letters, and they're all looking at letters, and then they hold on to them, and then they wait, see what comes in, and then they look at it and see what's the best fit for them, and so we're in the waiting game a lot with these girls. But you know what, like I say, we don't put any pressure on. We reach out, and we send them a letter, and then I usually follow it up with an email from myself, and then we usually end up with a Zoom meeting, a call with their parents, and the athlete, and then I tell them about our program, and I reach out, and like I say, if we're a good fit, we sent you a letter. We want you to be part of our program, and you know what? And like I say, if we're a good fit for you, we're more than happy to sign you and bring you into the family. But and we don't hold any bad feelings if the girl says no. I've got other options. Oh, that's great. That's good. We want you to make sure that you pick the right college and the right program for you, because down the road you need an education, and we want to make sure that you get the right education. And if we don't have courses that are going to fit what you want, and down the road, by all means, yes, go and play somewhere else. We don't hold any bad feelings. There's lots of players that will come our way, and like I say, this year we've got 11, and I had to turn away you know 3 girls because we were at the number, and there was no more room, because I have to leave spots open, the open tryouts. I just can't fill it, fill the team and then go to open tryouts and not have any spots available. It's just
Yeah.
not right to do that to anybody.
Welcome back to Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. This is going to mark the end of today's episode, but before I let you guys go, I want to say a few things. As always, I want to thank my guest, Tony Bertone, for coming on today's episode and being the guest on Inside the University. I want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in today, and I also want to thank our sponsors in Anada and Fabricland Winkler for sponsoring today's episode. I'll be back on the network for another edition of Coffee with Graeme on Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time on ASTV Productions on Facebook, or you can also watch it on our website at astvproductions.com. But until Thursday, folks, I've been your host of Coffee with Graeme, Graeme Forsyth, signing off now. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Stay safe out there, and until Thursday, I'll see you then.